3. تفضلي دكتورة سدي.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning. Welcome to this information session about the fourth cycle of Qatar National Research Fund and Science and Technological Research Council of Turkey joint funding program. The title of this fourth cycle is Academia-Industry Cooperation on Autonomous Systems. My name is Sadim Jawhar. I'm a program manager at QNRF, and I'm very happy to be giving this presentation today together with Dr. Ali Al-Aboudi, ICT program manager from QNRF, and Mrs. Burcu Kaptan Akbulut from TÜBİTAK, program coordinator. And we're also very pleased to have Dr. Isra Burcu Yamak and Mr. Tayyip Kozoklu, scientific programs expert, to address any questions related to TÜBİTAK funding for this call or the Turkey-based team. In our presentation today, we will be giving an overview about this current cycle, the background, the objectives, and the research priority area of the Autonomous Systems Call. Then we'll speak about the scope and eligibility of the proposal and the research teams, followed by the budgets and the co-funding. Then we'll move to talk about the pre-award stage, including the application system. Then the timeline, and at the end we'll be giving you some insights about some useful platforms if you're looking for a partner to apply for this course. By the end, we'll be very happy to answer any question that you might have. So with that, I would like to invite Dr. Ali to tell us more about the objectives and the research area of the current cycle. Dr. Ali.
Thank you very much, Dr. Salim. Assalamu alaikum and good morning, everyone. I would like to welcome and thank all of you for your interest in QNRF and TÜBİTAK programs and for devoting the time to be with us today. I hope this webinar will be useful to you and will help you to make your decision in what capacity you may participate in this call. The aim of this joint funding program between QNRF and TÜBİTAK is to intensify cooperation between Turkish and Qatari partners in science and industry by means of academia and industry cooperation. Autonomous system is the selective theme of the current call. This call aims to enhance the impact of research outcomes, boost TRL, and build human talent in the field of autonomous systems. The call inspires partnering with end users and industrial sector to facilitate data accessibility, testing, deployment, and commercialization later on of the research outcomes. The call intends to lay the foundation for a lasting R&D and innovation partnership. Basically, we're talking about autonomous systems, but we know all of us automation is defined as the automatically controlled operation of an apparatus, process, or system by mechanical or electronic devices that take the place of human labor. This usually requires a pre-planned set of instructions or given commands set before in the systems. Actually, our call is about autonomy, which goes beyond the automation concepts. It is about making systems self-directed and self-sufficient to respectively achieve goals and operate independently of external control. Autonomous systems are designed to continuously learn and adapt to different situations, not only following a specific set of instructions or commands. They can feature smart capabilities like learning, scanning, searching, classifications, stimulus perception, sentimental analysis, and other human-like tasks or smart tasks. For the technology of the autonomous systems include a wide variety of technologies, expanding from sensors, actuators, robotics, mechatronics devices, Internet of Things, 5G, machine-to-machine communication, augmented human reality, and machine learning, data analytics, self-replication, decision-making, technology and much more technologies can be used under the autonomous systems. In fact, the increase of data availability and the larger scales of cloud services and computing capabilities, coupled with the recent innovation in robotics and machine learning tools, have expanded the scope of autonomous systems application to unlimited number of applications in many sectors, starting from space exploration, intervention, agriculture, medical purposes, healthcare services, education, media, transportation, logistics, and even house-related tasks. But you know, our goal here for the maximum impact, next slide please, Sadim. For the maximum impact, our call is limited to application of autonomous system in two areas, namely industry and utilities. Under industry, we have oil and gas, manufacturing, construction. Under utilities, we have power grids, water networks, and transportation. These two areas and the 6 sub-areas are selected. The selection considers mainly the discussion between the two funding agency and the national strategies in Turkey and Qatar, and also the human capacity there in the countries and other factors for scrutinizing the application areas under these two areas and the 6 sub-areas. It's worth to mention that, you know, stakeholders from end users, academia, and industry are surveyed, and the selected areas reflect the participants' input. The white paper also exploring the local landscape in the two countries, recently produced by QNRF and TÜBİTAK teams, has shown the high potential and impact of autonomous systems in these two areas. It is worth to mention here that, you know, proposals are expected to tackle issues, back again, issues related to the technology of autonomous systems and or their application within one or more of the above mentioned sub areas. Any, you know, research handling these areas or sub areas in isolation of autonomous systems shouldn't be under the scope of this call. Let us dive, you know, more under the areas. So next slide. Under industry, we have oil and gas. Autonomous systems here are needed in all phases of the full value chain, from exploration, development, operation, and decommissioning. Examples of relevant tasks include inspection, survey vessels, systematic operation, production support, decommissioning support, data harvesting, and environmental monitoring and other tasks or research-related tasks that can be related to oil and gas. Manufacturing, here examples include world-class robotics and intelligence autonomous systems for confined space inspection and repair, remote visual monitoring, autonomous warehouse operation, packing and assemblage, autonomous aerial and ground systems, process management optimization systems, high precision and accuracy tasks, and other tasks that can fall under manufacturing. Next slide. For the third sub-area under industry, we have construction. In construction, autonomous systems have also the potential to reduce labor costs while improving productivity and quality. They can reduce injuries and free workers from conducting dangerous tasks. This is going to be done by the machines, autonomous machines. The applicants are encouraged to introduce more robust and market competitive solutions based on autonomous systems. Examples of application are off-site automated prefabrication systems, on-site automated and robotic system, terrestrial and aerial and nautical autonomous vehicles, smart support and lifting devices, and other tasks that are related to construction. Slide. The second area, we have utilities. Under utilities, we have 3 sub-areas. The first one is power grids. And the application of innovative autonomous controls can feature in advanced distribution management systems, autonomous grid devices, self-healing efficient grid, smart transactive energy, dynamic billing and tariff systems, reliable renewable energy resources integration, demand response and load management, smart energy efficient buildings, and other tasks that can be come under the umbrella of smart grids and power systems. For the water networks, the applicants here are encouraged to work in developing advanced sensors for leakage detection and water quality monitoring, pollution control, smart flow meters, integrated smart water management, proactive maintenance, interactive network visualization, smart billing systems, non-invasive monitoring and repair for water networks, and other robotic-assisted activities that can be applied for water networks. The third and last sub-area under utilities is transportations. It is clear from the title, examples of autonomous systems in transportation include autonomous vehicle, shared transportation options, infrastructure to vehicle communication, real-time crowd and traffic management, route optimization, and other tasks and research areas that can fit under transportation sub-area. This is for the areas. I'll leave you now back to Dr. Salim. She will give you more insight about the eligibility criteria for and other things related to the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ali. So regarding the applications for the cycle of academia-industry cooperation, in the current cycle, there are 2 types of applications. So there can be a new proposals that are basically submitted for the first time or submitted in the previous cycle but did not pass screening. These are new. Or resubmission application. These include proposals that have been submitted in the previous cycle and the smart cities cycle that passed the screening, went to evaluation but were not awarded. They are eligible to submit in the current cycle only once, given that they flag their proposal as resubmission and fill in the rebuttal section in the application form and address the feedback that they received on the previous submission. We'll speak now about the eligibility, and we'll start with the proposal eligibility. So the whole call is based on the 2+2 model, and to meet this requirement, the proposal are required to include the participation of at least one of the below institutions that we'll speak about, either as a submitting and collaborative institution. So the proposal in the academia-industry cooperation on autonomous system must include at least one Turkish academic institution, like higher education institution, training and research hospitals, public research centers, and from Qatar, an academic institution, Qatar-based an academic institution, in addition to a Turkish industrial partner, as well as a Qatar-based research end user. So you can see you need to have 2. One academia, one industry or research end user from each side, at least one. So you can have a proposal which might have 2 academic institutions from one country or 2 end user or industrial partner from one country, but at least one of each of these types is required. Besides, the proposal must be aligned to at least one of the research areas Dr. Ali just presented. And each team, the Turkey team and the Qatar-based team, must be led by a lead principal investigator. We'll now speak about the eligibility requirement for the Qatari-based lead PIs. The lead PIs must be affiliated with a submitting institution inside Qatar and hold a research-oriented doctorate or any of the approved terminal degrees. We have a list of the approved terminal degrees that you'll find on QNRF under the NPRP Download Center. However, if the lead PIs are from research and user entities and do not hold a terminal degree, they must have a track record in managing research project or development project and have a minimum of 5 peer-reviewed publications uploaded to their profile on QGrants. In addition, the lead PI must have a minimum of H-index that is relevant to the research area of his proposal submitted in the autonomous system call. And here to the right side in this table, you can see that proposal in natural science, engineering and technology, medical and health sciences, the minimum required H-index for the lead PI is 10. And proposal in agricultural sciences, social sciences and humanities, the minimum required H-index is 5. For those lead PIs who come from a research and user entities and Qatari national lead PIs that do not meet this minimum requirement of the H-index, they can still apply, given that they have at least 5 peer-reviewed publications uploaded to their profile. We'll speak now about the research team, the Qatar-based research team. A very critical role is the principal investigator, who must be affiliated to a Qatar-based institution, submitting institution or collaborative institution, and hold at least a university postgraduate degree and should have a suitable experience that's relevant to his role and tasks in the proposal. Other research team members for the Qatar-based team can include unnamed roles, such as postdocs, graduate students, undergrads, research assistant, and research associate, as well as consultants. The lead PI is required to recruit the postgraduate and postdocs and the graduate students through GESRA and PEDRA programs. And for the consultants, and these are individuals with expertise that can give advice on how to do certain tasks or address certain issues within the project. So they basically do not conduct the project, do not report, are not involved in planning the project. Therefore, they don't have intellectual rights. They can still be added to the project. However, they cannot be funded from QNRF fund for this call. Just want to mention that we have updated the definitions or included the definitions for the unnamed roles, and you can find them in the definitions and terminologies documents that's available on the NPRP Download Center. Regarding the number of roles for the Qatar-based team, the lead principal investigator, the Qatar-based lead principal investigator can submit only one application for the current cycle. And the count of individual participation for all the ongoing projects under the thematic and grant challenges programs. This include the TÜBİTAK QNRF joint funding program, PPM, USRA, the food security calls, the equine call, and the Belmont Forum call. So the total number of participation for an individual as a lead principal investigator, as a principal investigator, or as a co-lead PI for certain calls should not be exceeding 3 roles, excluding the participation in project that would finish before 1st of December. For example, if you are a lead PI in a PPM project, you still have 2 free roles to play in the autonomous system call if you wish. One of them only can be a lead principal investigator. I think with that, I would hand over to Burcu, so she can tell us about the requirement of the Turkey-based team.
Thank you, Sadim. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your interest to our webinar and also bilateral call with QNRF. First of all, I would like to give some brief information about who can apply for this call on Turkish side. Higher education institutions, training and research hospitals, public institutions and organizations, SMEs and large enterprises established in Turkey can apply for this call. If the PI and LPI from academia, they should hold at least PhD. If the LPI and PI from public institutions, organizations or private sector, they should have a bachelor degree. If LPI and PI from private sector, they must be working in their organization full-time for a minimum of 6 months. Next, please. These rules are for other members of the project. Researchers and consultants must hold at least bachelor degree. Overseas researchers cannot be appointed to the Turkish project team under this call. And also, scholarship students can take a role in our call. Undergraduate and postgraduate students, they continue their education in higher education institutions. They can take a role in the project team as scholarship students. Unlike Qatar site, LPI and PIs and other team members can participate with an unlimited number of applications. Thank you.
Thank you, Burcu. We'll move now to the budget section, and we'll start here with the budget for the Qatar-based team. So each funding agency will be covering the cost or funding their relevant team, and the Qatar-based team will be funded by QNRF. The duration of the project in total can be up to 3 years. The Qatar-based team can have up to $200,000 per year for up to 3 years. So the maximum would be $600,000 for 3 years. 100% of the budget and the effort must be spent inside Qatar. And since, as we said, the Qatar-based team will be funded by QNRF, so the awards will be issued and managed by QNRF in accordance with the guidelines and policies of QNRF. In brief, the budget lines of the autonomous system call are pretty, in terms of categories, are pretty similar to the other research calls in QNRF, with some differences in the percentage. So basically, there are the direct costs. These include the personnel, the equipment, consumables, materials, and services, as well as the travel, which is up to 10% of the annual direct budget. Miscellaneous, can be up to 5% of the annual direct budget. In addition to that, there is the indirect cost that can be up to 10% of the annual direct budget. For more details about the budget and the guidelines, you'll find it in our budget documents that's available on the download center. I just want to remind here of a standard role, which is private institution acting as submitting or collaborative institution cannot receive personnel and indirect costs. We'll speak now about the co-funding and cost sharing for the Qatar-based team, and we have recently updated the co-funding and cost sharing policy in order to allow more institution to participate in this mechanism. The cost sharing and co-funding is highly encouraged as it translates the interest of the end users and stakeholders in the research itself, and it also facilitates the uptake and of the outcome of the project to be utilized by these end users and stakeholders. So as per the new policy, there are two mechanisms: the co-funding, which is the mechanism through which the third-party institution can contribute in cash or in kind to the project. And there's also the cost sharing. The cost sharing is the mechanism through which any of the participating institution, either submitting or collaborative institution, contribute in cash or in kind to the project. The classification now is, as you can see, we have now the academic institution, and under the updated policy, this institution can provide support either in kind or in cash to the project through the cost sharing mechanism, meaning when they are participating in the project. The other categories of the institution includes public or governmental institutions, for sure excluding academia, private for-profit institution excluding academia, as well other types that, for example, private for public benefit, NGOs, non-profit foundation, including Qatar Foundation entities. These three types can provide either cost sharing or co-funding. In either way, the lead PI is required to provide a commitment letter to show the commitment of the co-funder and cost sharer to provide the promised support if the proposal gets awarded. We'll move now to, just give me a second, I think Yes. Burcu, to tell us about the Turkey-based team budget.
Thank you, Dr. Sadim. On Turkey side, the duration of the projects can be up to 3 years as well. Turkish academia and industry teams that are eligible for funding can receive up to 4 million Turkish liras. This amount excludes overheads and project incentive premium. And also the partners from academia cannot get more than 40% of the total project budget. Awards to Turkey-based teams will be issued and managed by TÜBİTAK in accordance with its own funding guidelines and procedures. These are our budget components. First of all, we expected a balanced distribution of the budget. And also the total budget, including overhead and PIP, cannot exceed 5 million Turkish liras. What are the eligible costs for our site? Personal expenses, scholarship student expenses. This is only for universities and public institutions. Third one is consumable expenses, travel expenses, service procurement expenses, tools and equipment expenses, and the final one is indirect costs, but this is only for private sector. Thank you. This is yes, now we will speak about co-funding contribution and cost sharing. For our site, support letter is required for co-funding contributions. Our cost sharing procedure is like this. SMEs are expected to contribute 25% of the total budget. Large enterprises are expected to contribute 40% of the total budget. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Burcu. We'll speak now about the pre-award stage, and we'll start with the application process. As we said in the beginning, each team, the Qatari-based team and the Turkey-based team, each of them has a lead PI, so they need to select one of the lead PIs to be the project coordinator, who will basically be leading the development of the application form to come up with a consistent and one application form. This joint application form must be submitted by the Turkey-based lead PIs through the TÜBİTAK submission platform, and later on Burcu will tell us more about that. And the Qatari-based lead PI needs to be registered, prepare and submit the proposal and the application form through our platform. The process starts with, for the Qatari-based team, through the qgrants.org, through our online submission system. He needs to create a profile, or he or she has already a profile. Just to update this profile, start the proposal registration and submission. You can find all the policies, all the updated templates on the autonomous system call webpage on QNRF, where you'll find the CFP, the application form, and also the supporting and commitment letter templates. There are also some other standard documents that you will find in the NPRP download center. So we mentioned the budget components, the terminal degrees, the definitions documents, and so on. And our other policies, like co-funding policies, for example, are found under Funding tab, Policies, Rules, and Regulations. I'll just mention here briefly, give you highlight about how to update your H-index, and this is a new requirement on the system. For those lead PIs, you log into your profile, or when you create your profile, to the left side of the page, you will find researcher profile. We accept the H-index from 4 platforms: Publon, Google Scholar, ResearchGate, or Scopus. So you choose which URL you want for which platform, and then you click on Add New. You select the platform that you want to add, and then you paste that URL and click Add. You'll notice that the H-index is not automatically retrieved. This is going to be done by QNRF team. If you have more than one profile on more than one of these platforms, you can add all of them, and the highest H-index will be considered by QNRF for eligibility matters. Therefore, we also highly encourage the lead PI. So after you enter your H-index information, please check after 1 or 2 days to make sure that it was updated on the system. This is for the H-index. We'll go briefly through the components, the major components of the proposal preparation. So after the lead PI have updated or created his profile, you need to register your proposal, and then you start the proposal preparation stage, which involves entering the information about proposal summary. That's the brief description of the proposal, the objectives, the impact, the methodology used, and background about it. Then identifying the research areas of your proposal, and if you have more than one research area, you need to indicate which one is the primary research area. Entering the information of the collaborative institution, and also uploading a supporting letter for the PIs from each collaborative institution. Entering the co-funding and cost-sharing information, as we described earlier. Also the personnel information. Under this section in the personnel, for the principal investigator and the consultants, they need to be registered with us as Q grants. And for the lead PI, when he or she needs to add them, you use the same email that they used to register on Q grants, add them to the project. Then they will receive invitation. So they have to log into their accounts and accept this invitation for the lead PI to be able to proceed with the complete submission. The other unnamed roles, the lead PI needs just to enter the number of them. The detailed information can be added later on if the proposal gets awarded. In addition to that, the lead PI have to upload the application form and enter the budget information, answer the ethical or regulatory compliance question, especially if there are human subjects, animals, radioactive, or biohazardous materials being used in the project. Also, another section is intellectual property section. So there are certain questions to be answered here by the lead principal investigator. We have a detailed step-by-step guide that can take you through the process from creating your profile to registering and preparing and submitting the proposal. It's very helpful. You'll find it also on the NPRP download center. So this is basically, in general, for the application from the Qatari-based side, and Burcu will tell us about TÜBİTAK submission.
Thank you, Dr. Sadim. I will give you information about TÜBİTAK's application procedure. First of all, you should have an IRBIS ID. You can create a profile by clicking www.irbis.tubitak.gov.tr, and then with your IRBIS ID, you should enter our application system, UIDB PBC TÜBİTAK Gov.tr. If you are a new user registration, please click the button is new user registration on the left side, and then you will see a form like this. Please, next. You will see this form if you click a new user registration. Please fill in all details on this form, and then you can enter our portal, application portal login. You will receive a screen like this. Sorry for it is Turkish. Bilateral cooperation programs. Active applications. You should click this button, active applications. Then you will get the list of the projects which are open to submission. Our program is 2556 Qatar National Research Fund, QNRF, Bilateral Cooperation Program. You should click the apply button. Then you will see a screen like this. You should complete all the columns on the left side. First of all, for example, the first one is project coordinator. You should give some information about the project coordinator. And for the submission your project to TÜBİTAK system, you should complete all columns. Then submit to our site. Thank you.
Thank you, Burcu. I just want to remind again, so this is the application form for the autonomous systems, and we highly emphasized for the lead PIs, Turkey and Qatari-based lead PIs, to use the same application form in their submission for their proposals. So after the proposals have been submitted, it must be it must be vetted by the research office for the Qatari-based team, and an e-signature must be obtained for the Turkey-based team for the proposal to be considered officially submitted. Then the proposal will go through a screening phase in which a joint screening by QNRF and TÜBİTAK is performed. So to check that the proposal meets the eligibility requirements, the conditions of the calls, and also the requirements and the rules of both funding agencies. After that, the lead PIs will be notified of the outcomes, and those which do not pass screening will have a window of appeal, and the appeals will be studied by a joint appeal committee, and the outcome will be also conveyed to the lead PIs after that. The proposal that passed screening will automatically go into the evaluation stage, which is basically a two-tier stages. Starts with a peer review by 5 experts that would evaluate the proposal against a set of criteria: scientific and technological excellence, that's 40%. Project feasibility, relevance and caliber of the project team and institution, that's 20%, impact of the project, it's 20%, and appropriateness of the project expenses. This is just commenting on the budget appropriateness. After that, proposals proceed. The top scoring proposal are shortlisted and they proceed to the second tier, that is the programmatic review panel. It's a joint panel, includes experts to look up and evaluate the proposal from a broader perspective. It takes into consideration the peer reviewers' outcome, but in addition to that, it evaluates the proposal based on its programmatic and strategic objectives of the call and the 2 funding agencies. So, for example, it looks into these criteria, including but not limited to the strength and the alignment of the priority themes as per the CFP, effectiveness of the project to advance knowledge, transfer technology, and build capacity, the quality and importance of the local and bilateral collaboration, the potential impacts on both countries and the broader commercial market, the quality of the co-funding and cost-sharing and engagement of end users, previous investment of QNRF and TÜBİTAK in the proposal area, the composition of the team, the teams in terms of complementarity, experience, and past performance. The panel would rank the proposal according to their competitiveness, and a funding recommendation will be raised for the joint study and approval by the management of QNRF and TÜBİTAK, and at the end, the awards are announced. So here we'll take a chance to remind you of the timeline. The submission have opened on 28th of April. And the deadline for the submission to TÜBİTAK by the Turkey-based lead PI is 23rd of August. And to QNRF by the Qatar-based lead PI is 24th of August. And the deadline for the research office vetting for QNRF for the Qatari teams is 25th of August. The screening outcome is expected in October 2021. With the award announcement early next year, January, February 2022. After that, proposals that are awarded will go through the pre-funding phase to finalize the required document, provide any necessary conditions that have been raised by the panel, and also signing the agreement with the two funding agencies. So the projects are expected to start in April 2022. Before we finish the presentation, I would like to mention to use some useful platform that are helpful, might be helpful for the researcher, especially with the requirement of this call. So since you need a research end user and academia from both sides, we have created a LinkedIn group called Autonomous Systems Joint Funding Call. You can search it on the LinkedIn, or you find it on our website, or in the invitation for this webinar. There are more than 450 members in this group. So you can join the group if you're looking for a partner from Qatar or Turkey. Directly contact the members if you find somebody relevant, or you can even post on the wall of the group if you're looking for a partner. And here I'm just giving quickly some examples from the researchers who are looking for partners. We have Dr. Abdul Hafiz from Hassan University in Turkey, who's looking for a partner in vision-based robot control, visual place recognition. Dr. Marwan Khreishi from Texas A&M at Qatar, who's also looking for partners in autonomous systems in manufacturing process. Dr. Murad Tukuril from Marmara Universities, who also saying if you need a partner or colleague for control or signal processing solutions. Dr. Ugon Yayan, who's also indicating any partnership about verification and validation of autonomous systems. Dr. Abdul Latif Baba from University of Turkish Aeronautical Association, who's suggesting an innovative technical project to serve new generation of smart grids. We have also Dr. Kabir Biswas from Hamad bin Khalifa University, who have work in the area of biosensors for light-based detection. Also, Mustafa Erol from IW Robotics, which focus on autonomous sea cleaning vessels. Dr. Levent Kavas from Dokuz Eylül University, offering collaboration on bio-based corrosion inhibitors and eco-friendly anti-fouling paints. Dr. Tariq Oskul from Fatigue Pro Sensor, offering any technology to monitor metal fatigue of structures. Also, Denise Fidan, automotive engineer and entrepreneur. Dr. Khan Kutan from Rise Engineering, also, who are interested in the call and looking for academic and industrial partner on automated real-time structure health monitoring system projects. Suhaib Abdul Karim from Gaziantep University, also saying that he's interested to participate in structural and aerodynamic analysis projects. We have also Ikyas Koja from Seerover, also they're open for partnership. Bilal Eid from HBKU, Dr. Bilal Eid, we also interested in partners in the field of autonomous grid system based on blockchain. And Dr. Yavuz also are looking for partners from Qatar on autonomous system and their future effects on urban structures. And I think this is maybe the last example, Gizem Besser from Havelsan Autonomous Systems. So they're also open for collaboration. They're looking for partners in Qatar, and their area is autonomous driving systems for land vehicles. So these are the posts. There might be more there also. You can contact these researchers if you find them relevant, or you can also post on directly in the group to find or attract also collaborators. I briefly mentioned this might be useful for our Turkish researchers who want to know more about the research institutions in Qatar. You can visit QNRF. At the bottom of the page, you'll find the collaboration tab, and if you click on the approved research office, it will take you to the these three institutions that can act as submitting institution in Qatar, and you can find lead PIs from these institutions. You can click there, visit their website, and see their research teams. Also, if you click on Qatar Research Institution, it will take you to a page for many of the research institutions in Qatar, and you can visit their web pages and get about their research areas and perhaps contact their research teams directly. With that, we finished the presentation. I want to thank you so much for joining us today and for listening. If you have any inquiry in the future, you can submit it through ticket on support.qnrf.org about the Qatari-based team. And about the Turkish team, you can send an email on uidb@tubitak.gov.tr. With that, we'll finish the presentation. I'll be happy to address your questions. So please, if you have any questions, submit it to us on the question tab, which has a question mark to the right side of the page, and we'll be answering your question. I can see here. So we have a question here, I believe is about the Qatari-based team. It says, can you please explain what does research end user mean? What type of organization are these? Can you give specific examples? So research end user, we mean by it any entity, any institution that doesn't have research as its main objectives. Basically any non-academic institution. These can be public, private, NGOs, institutions. Another questions, can you please explain again the collaborating institution, one academia, one industry from Turkey, and one academia, one industry partner or end user, is that correct? So the model is at least one academia and one industrial entity from Turkey, and one academia and one research end user, meaning public, private, or NGOs or others from Qatar. At least one of these. So you'll have minimum of 4 institutions from 2 countries. Another question, is NPRP role counted? This is also a question for the Qatari-based team. No, the roles in the NPRP programs are not counted within the autonomous system calls, only the TGRP calls, which are TÜBİTAK QNRF, PPM, Belmont, Food Security, Equine, and USRA. We have a question here saying, what is the expected TRL level of the outcomes? Maybe Dr. Ali can address this question.
Thank you, Sadim, for the question. We opted to have no condition for TRL levels. So the call for proposal doesn't include a specific threshold for or a condition or a bar for TRL. This is left to the evaluation of the peer reviewers and the panelists. If you're targeting, for example, advancing a mature technology, the panelists and the peer reviewers may say, high TRL is preferable here. If you're targeting, for example, futuristic, very cutting edge technology, they maybe accept or see lower TRL is sensible in this case, such kind of cases. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ali. We have a question here to our colleagues in TÜBİTAK. So thanks for this webinar and information shared. I would like to ask the TÜBİTAK team, is there a criterion you prioritize when you're choosing a university? Last year, we applied for 2 different projects, and we think the selected universities or projects were selected from the universities that should be empowered. Burcu or Tayyip? Yes, Tayyip.
We do not, discriminate between the universities. During our evaluation process, we just carry out our evaluation process announced in the call text. Other than the evaluation criteria specified, we do not apply any specific rule when it comes to selecting the proposals to be recommended for funding.
Thank you, Tayyip. We have another question here. What are your consortium-oriented prioritization apart from the project subject? I'm not entirely sure about, I don't know if Dr. Ali, if you can address the question. Consortium-oriented prioritizations apart from the project subject. I don't know if he means the composition of the team.
Yeah, maybe he or she, asking about the partners with the academic sector. The relevancy matter here. So the relevant institution to the topic maybe is much better than just getting industrial or end user partner for sake of making the consortium eligible for funding. Thank you.
Thank you. We have another question. So what are the scoring methodology? Are the weights of criteria available? Yes. So the scores, the weights of each evaluation criteria, you'll find them in the call for proposal and the annex at the end of the call for proposal. They're published online. What is the number? So we have a question here. Is the budget distribution of the industry and utility categories to be funded determined? What is the number of the project to be funded by category, and what is the budget distribution? What is the number of the project to be funded by category? I'm not sure if they mean the budget distribution between academia and industry, if this is for the Turkey-based team, perhaps. Maybe Burcu, if you can remind about the distribution of the budget between the academia and industry. Burcu,
Sadim, yeah, I can step in and answer.
Yes, Sadim, sorry, by the way, we have two Burcu, that's why when you ask Burcu, okay,
I need to specify. Sorry for
that. Go ahead, please, Tayyip. Thank you.
Yeah, we have a specific rule when it comes to the division of the budget between partners on Turkey. The partners from academia, their total budget cannot 40% of the whole budget. Yeah, that's the rule we apply about the budget on Turkish side. This is only for the Turkish side.
Thank you, Tayyip. So we don't have distribution in the budgets for the Qatar-based team to answer this question. We don't have a specific distribution between academia, of the budget between academia and research and user. However, the budget itself and the utilization of the budget in general is part of the evaluation criteria. So this is going to be evaluated as part of the evaluation of the proposal overall for the Qatari-based team. And I believe for also the Turkey-based team, this is a part of the evaluation, how the budget being utilized and proposed. We have a question here for the Qatar side research and user. How the fund cover the expense for the test? If you can clarify for us what you mean for tests, but for the research and users, we have for the budget for the Qatari-based team, we have, as we indicated, it covers personnel, it covers equipment, it covers travel, miscellaneous and indirect costs. However, if the institution is a private institution, as mentioned, it doesn't cover personnel or indirect costs. Is international collaboration allowed? How consultants could be involved? I believe this is I'll answer it for the Qatari-based team, and maybe if our colleagues in TÜBİTAK would like to comment. So international collaboration, the project is between Qatari-based team and Turkey-based team. There's no international collaboration institutions allowed. For the Qatar-based side, the consultants, international consultants can be added, but as indicated, consultant anyway will not be funded by QNRF funds. Maybe Burcu Kaptan, if you would like to comment on the consultant, if international consultants can be added for the Turkey-based team, or they have to be only Turkey-based?
Actually, international consultants can take a role in TÜBİTAK side, in Turkish side.
But they have to be located in Turkey, or they can be affiliated to institution outside Turkey?
They can be affiliated outside Turkey, but like Qatar side, they cannot receive PIP.
Okay, funding. Thank you. What is the funding chance? Do you have an estimate about 10%, 20%? Do you know how many projects might be funded? This is a difficult question to answer. So it depends on the quality of the proposals that we receive. Is there any other tool other than LinkedIn to establish partnership? We have not currently the LinkedIn group that we highly encourage you to utilize and use to find partners. And we have noticed like there is kind of interaction. So some of the researchers have posted, and you can find that directly there are other researchers that started to comment and contact them directly. We have a question here. I have an academic partner from Germany who is Turkish. Can I go and have meeting with him who hold an important knowledge about autonomous system? Can we have any budget for these trips? I guess this is for our colleagues in TÜBİTAK. Maybe Tayyip would like to answer, or can they have budget
we have an academician in Germany.
Yeah, Turkish academician and academic in Germany that they would like to have trips to have meetings. Yeah. Is it covered under the budget by TÜBİTAK?
You know, we have travel expenses for in the budget items, but this is a kind of a fuzzy expense. I'm not sure, you know, I don't have a clear answer for that.
Perhaps maybe they
can. Can I ask a question?
If you can write us an.
This trip to Germany is for conference or what?
It doesn't specify. It says have meetings with.
So yeah, because if it's a conference, yeah, we are not asking where they are going or not. So if it's for a conference, yes, they can. But if not, if I don't know, maybe they will meet Qatar team and they will go to Germany for another.
I think the question was he's gonna travel to Germany to meet up this. German academic work on the project.
So yeah, it's kind of fuzzy.
So we would recommend the researchers maybe to send you an email and explain more about the purpose of the trip and if it's covered or not.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, another question. Will, I think this is also for TÜBİTAK, will in-kind support be counted as 25 contribution in Turkey for SEM?
For SMEs?
He wrote SEM, but perhaps he means SMEs, maybe, yeah.
Yeah. For companies, cost sharing is a must, you know, it's mandatory. The companies should cover, for SMEs, 25% of the budget, and for large enterprises, they need to cover 40% of the total budget. So they cover these expenses in terms of personal expenses, in terms of, material procurement expenses, in terms of subcontracting expenses. They are all included in the budget.
Okay. Thank you, Tayyip. We have some comments. So like, hi everyone, we are from soccer company in Turkey, R&D and innovation. The field that we are in is oil, gas and manufacturing. Are we able to share the presentation? By the way, we are open to collaborate on relevant field that we, to those who are interested. His name is Shaheen Sarafi. So please, please use the LinkedIn group, and you can post all the information that you would like to for your for the interested partner to communicate with you. There's another question. Another question that we have is about the project cap, 4 million Turkish lira. That is mentioned for the Turkey side. Is that based on the total budget cap for all projects that are subsidized in Turkey, or that's based on each project?
It's per project.
Mm-hmm. It's per project. Okay. For the Turkey team, do they need only in-kind support letter from industry, or do they need real cash from industry?
We only require a support letter if they have co-funding. If they get a financing from a third party, they should submit a commitment letter, a support letter. This is called other than co-funding. If they have a cost sharing, I mean, there has to be a cost sharing for company, but they do not have to submit a commitment letter because when they sign the grant agreement, they declare that they provide the necessary funds. So for cost sharing, they do not submit a commitment letter. Only if they have a co-funding, then they have to submit a support letter.
Thank you, Tayyip. We have a question here saying, can the development of the autonomous self-healing coating for protection of pipelines in oil and gas be considered for research area, Dr. Ali? Can the development of the autonomous self-healing, I don't know if I'm reading.
Self-healing, yeah.
Self-healing, I think, coating for protection of pipelines in oil and gas can be considered for research priority area?
It's a standard for oil and gas industry, sub-area oil and gas, it fits, yeah, I guess.
So it can be considered under the priority.
Yes, it makes it between, I guess, water networks. I can't see the question, but from what you have said now, it's it fits under the industry sub-area oil and gas.
Can you please discuss again the categories under oil and gas industries? So I'll go back to the slides. Perhaps Dr. Ali can maybe take us briefly through them. Where are we?
Yeah, slide number 1.
And 6. Yes.
As we have mentioned, we have 2 sub-areas. The first sub-area is industry. Under the industry, we have 3 sub-areas: oil and gas. Autonomous systems here are needed in all phases of the full value chain, from exploration, development, operation, and decommissioning. Examples, we are just giving examples here. include inspection, survey vessels, systematic operation, production support, decommissioning support, data harvesting, environmental monitoring, and what you have mentioned now, self-healing of pipelines, I guess. It is, fit, I guess so, under oil and gas. And, what we have mentioned is only examples.
Thank you, Dr. Ali. A question for also TÜBİTAK. What is the definition of SEM?
Small, medium enterprises.
Small, medium enterprises. Okay.
It's also written. It's written in our call text.
Yeah. So it should be a definition of the SME, I believe, what's meant by the question, not SEM. Okay, we have a question here. It is it required the industry partner in both Qatar and Turkey to be a PI, or just a support letter is sufficient? So it has to be a collaborative institution. The industry partner or research end user it has to be a collaborative institution added to the project. So for the Qatari-based side, it must include a principal investigator participating from this collaborative institution. And at least for the Qatari-based side, we need to provide a support letter in this case. I don't know if a support letter is required for TÜBİTAK as well.
For Turkish side, there has to be a partner from industry. If they meet this criteria, they can add on other partners from industry. If they choose to have a co-fund, then this co-funding part, this co-funding is not a project partner, but it provides financing. In this case, they have to submit support letter for co-funding.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Tayyip. I have a question regarding the Qatari research end user. Could it be a private or public research end user? It can be public or private, either way, for the Qatari-based side. Will a project that will develop novel general technologies for the use and control of autonomous vehicles be well received if it will only be marginally focused on specific application areas? Dr. Ali, shall I read the question again? Would you like me to read it again?
If you can, please.
Will a project that will develop novel general technologies for the use and control of autonomous vehicles be well received if it only marginally focus on the specific application areas?
It fits, I guess, under so many areas. Autonomous vehicles is fit under even construction, transportation, so whatever application. I believe, somehow autonomous vehicle can fit in one or two of our areas.
Thank you. I have a question here saying, how will the two partners from Turkey and Qatar come together? What sort of projects are expected to progress? One as parts of the big project, or two as two projects in communication with each other? How are we going to integrate the two projects, the two separate projects under the same similar topic, communicating each other, or kinds of similar project complementing each other as being parts of one big project? So the way we propose project as far as they complete each other will affect the eligibility. I will just start here and maybe ask Dr. Ali or other colleagues if they would like to explain more. So it has to be one project. The two teams are working on one project. It's not two separate projects in communication with each other. So it's only one project and the two teams are working in Qatar and Turkey working on it. Maybe Dr. Ali, if you would like to.
Yeah, this is, the whole idea of having both sides together. So they are going to integrate and complement each other. Of course, they have some tasks and brokers of work packages here and there, but by the end of the day, it's one project, and they have visits, they have interaction, they have also they have to maybe transfer some material for testing here and there. So it's one project. You cannot make it two separate projects.
Thank you, Dr. Ali. Dr. Isra Burju, would you like to comment or nothing?
Same. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Another question here is, how much do you weight the pure research part versus the application part in the proposal?
Yeah, as we mentioned, the sub areas, the application sub areas, the two main areas and three sub areas. Handling these areas in isolation of autonomous system shouldn't be under the scope of the project. So you have to consider, of course, autonomous systems and address one or more of these sub areas. This is the whole idea of the core.
Thank you, Dr. Ali. We have a question here saying, are fundings for travel covering project meetings and common demos or experiments in Turkey or Qatar? I'll speak about the Qatari side at least, and then hand over to maybe if Tayyip or Burju Kaptan would like to answer about the Turkish side. So travel is covered, as you said, at least for the Qatari-based side, it's covered up to 10%. Maybe not for meetings, but to conduct research experiment, to attend conferences and so on. And also, as we said, the budget and the budget lines are also part of the evaluation of the project. So it's also assess the purpose of the travel and so on. So maybe, I don't know, if Tayyip, would you like to answer the what does the travel cover for the Turkey-based team?
Sure. We do not have a specific threshold for any of the budget items. Like you have like 10% must go to travel expenses, 5%. We do not have a threshold. They can, make travels to work 80. With their counterparts. But I think there is a restriction on the days they can spend in Qatar, which is how many days, Burju?
Not the days, but the 80,000 Turkish liras.
Yeah, they can spend 80,000 Turkish liras travel abroad, but what about the bilateral?
It includes everything. We don't have any strict rule for that.
Okay.
Thank you. I have a question here. I'm not sure if we addressed this similar to it for TÜBİTAK. My question was, can an in-kind support be counted as 25 cost contribution from industry?
Yes. So
can in-kind support be counted
when they say
as 25 cost contribution from industry?
Yeah, in-kind support can be counted as part of the 25 or 40% of the contribution for the companies.
Thank you, Tayyip. We have a question here about the oil and gas areas, Dr. Ali. Do we need to propose the full value chain or specific items such as decommission support only?
Yeah, for this question, we'll revert the question back to the applicant, because here we have a project, we have a scope, we have timeline for 3 years, and we have also a specific budget constraint. So we'll leave it up to you if you're gonna manage your project to handle the full value chain or focus only on decommissioning support. This is up to you. you may consider the constraint of the budget and the timeline of the project and the team here and there, and both for us are acceptable.
Thank you, Dr. Ali. We have, so I just want to highlight, so as we indicated, the alignment of the project to the research area is one of the screening criteria, and also even is one of the evaluation criteria at the end of the proposal in the programmatic review. Another question here is regarding the question that was asked previously. You said the research end user can be from public or private sector. Do these conditions apply to both teams from both countries? So I was speaking about the Qatari-based team, and we said that the research end user can be public or private entity. This is for Qatar. For our colleagues from Turkey, we said that it has to be industry. I don't know if I see Isra Burju, any comment on that? So they're saying
we don't have any rule for the end user. Can be anything, everything, or we don't. It's not an obligation for Turkey, the end user.
The end user. It's the obligation for Turkey is to have academia and industry
together. Yes, but the end we don't have any end user obligation for the project.
Okay.
It's not a requirement. If it's it's they're welcome, but if not, it's not a must.
The must is to have an industry per se.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, let me see if we have, I think the other questions we have already covered them or pretty similar. I don't know if we have covered this question. I'm planning to submit an application on autonomous water network monitoring. Could you please suggest any potential industrial partners from Qatar and Turkey? Again, please, I would refer you to the LinkedIn group and suggest if you would like to post it there in the LinkedIn group, an interested partner would directly communicate with you. I think with that, we have covered more or less all types of questions. Some questions are coming back again similar in a similar way. So if you have any question, please feel free to contact us on the support system on QNRF or via email to our colleagues on TÜBİTAK. And we want to thank you for joining us today. I want to thank our colleagues from TÜBİTAK for their time. Dr. Ali, thank you so much. And if anyone wants to say anything before we finish. Isra, any comment, any further thing, or?
We are here for further information or for further questions. So feel free for them, like ask any questions, anything and everything. We are here to, we will be happy to answer them.
Thank you so much. Dr. Ali, would you like to add anything before?
Thank you, Dr. Shadim, for the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. And we wish you all the best and good luck in your submissions. And have a nice day. Thank you. Thank you, colleagues. Thank you, Burju. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tayyib. Thank you, Isra. Thanks. Bye-bye.